Over 70 kilo J2 category, gradually representing the United States, Prix Tbilisi, gradually representing Kazakhstan, The three runner from Uzbekistan, Ujo. The record is of this world is under 57 kilo J2 category, gradually representing Canada, Priscilla Garnier, gradually representing Brazil, Larissa Silva. The three runner winner gradually representing Brazil, Larissa Silva. over 90 kg category J2 wins. White belt Uzbekistan Slojan Oktagorov. Blue belt France Asset Zormani. Category 2 business class. Category 3 full stall. Chyba zmuszonnego Neodevanse Ivoice Štěpelka a Kazajoris Semifinal category. Tenfi judokyni Rercharge Contests.
So on the mat now, Jacques Joubert of South Africa. He is taking the win without competing here. So it's unfortunate to see today that there's quite some athletes that are in the draw but decided not to go to the weight control, for example, and or are deciding not to compete here today. So we're gonna take a look at the under 70 kilogram for J2 athletes. Only 4 athletes being present here today, but I'm really excited to see a battle between 2 athletes in particular, Alana Maldonado and Wang Zhu. But Kanim Husainova is also there today. And she's such a big throw, she can be dangerous to anyone, so it's gonna be a good contest. But I think the one to beat here really is Wang Zhu of People's Republic of China. She's unbeaten in the last 2 years. And that's very interestingly said because Alana Maldonado had the same status in this weight category. And she's showing some of her skill by finishing off her opponent so quickly in this contest. So Agawa is something that's quite hard to throw over, so it's really well done by Maldonado. And we're gonna see another super interesting contest because it's gonna be a repetition of the final of the World Championships between current Paralympic champion Ghanim Husainova of Azerbaijan and Wang Yu of People's Republic of China. And also, they both come from the 63 kilogram category, where Husainova won the Paralympic Games and Wang picked up a bronze medal. So there is history between these two athletes. They're both top athletes, and it's Wang at the moment who has the better papers to take a win. So they have a left against right stance, and Wang is good and quite constant with that. And she's just gonna get that left side and try to go for an Uchimata and for those hip throws, while Husainova can be great with takeovers. She's good with low techniques. And I wouldn't be surprised to see both of them picking up a Shido. Or at least a good warning from the referee, because they were just both kicking each other and not really being very positive with their judo. So Husainova tried to go on that left side, but bringing herself into trouble in Newaza. So Wang always looks very threatening on that left side. But you can tell that these athletes know each other really well. And have trouble to get closer to each other. I think Wang is doing a good job here, and Husainova might be in trouble. So although there's not a big difference, and Husainova can be so dangerous, so it's never over with her, it is a fact that Wang looks very strong and very controlled. So almost 2 minutes gone, not much has happened in the contest. Just really small differences. And that's another a drop technique from Husainova. The thing is that she's so static with that, so it will be easy to control by Wang. I'm hoping next time she does a little preparation move and to get some movement or response from Wang. And she will have a much bigger chance of success if she does that. So Husainova is really trying to find some escape, or not an escape, she's trying to find some space for a good attack and some solution to the strength of Wang. But up until now, Wang looks very strong. And now holding down Husainova. I think that's also just a matter of experience, just taking control of your contests. You don't need to throw big and Oh, that's nice to see. Husainova just came out of that. But so Wang is not taking any big risks. She's just staying on her own assignment of that left-sided grip and waiting her chance for a good move. So it's Husainova that's picking up her first penalty now for a defensive position of posture. And she's really trying to escape pressure from Wang. And Wang is very smart because that left hand is bended and not straight. That was a good movement. So here you can see that Husainova combined some movements and first got a response from Wang, first got some reaction, and then she immediately is more dangerous. So that left side is the way to go for Husainova, almost scoring here. And now trying to control that arm, but that was the best movement so far in this contest. So Husainova is more dangerous with her attacks, but she is drained a little bit, as you can see her, and Wang is just trying to control the contest. So only 5 seconds left in this contest. And I think as soon as one comes up with an attack, she's gonna have a really good attack. And she might be able to score, but she really takes her time. And another really good attack from... ooh, that's really nice. And Husainova does it. She is beating Wang for the first time, I think, in 2 years. So really well done by Husainova. And we have the first surprise of today. And I'm really, really looking forward to see them later this year also in the Paralympic Games. It's going to be so great to see these 3 top athletes battling it out, because I think it could really go either way for Elena Maldonado, Kanim Husainova or Wang Ju. And they're all present here today, and they all will face each other head to head. So interesting contest here between Shi Jie of People's Republic of China, the #1 seed here, and Ulyon Amrieva of Uzbekistan. So these two went head to head in Germany, and there it was Amrieva who beat the world champion. So she's strangling down Shi, almost succeeding there. That was really exciting for Amrieva for a second. So although Shi is the current world champion, it's really not an easy battle for her. And I was gonna say not an easy battle, but she is finishing it off easy with a really great technique here. She just throwing over Amrieva. She did win the last Grand Prix of Antalya, so I think she had a good warning in Germany, but showing why she's the #1 seed here. And she's still in the race to become a champion here today, along with 6 other athletes that still have their quarterfinals left. So if you want to watch this contest, of course you can click on the right YouTube channel. But I think we're gonna take a look at what's going on mat number 3, because we have someone on there that wasn't present for quite a while. It's Carolina Costa of Italy. She's been out for a long time, but is the current world champion. And she's facing Wang Hongju of People's Republic of China here. So Shido each, not much attacks from both of them, but it's Wang that has 2 penalties on the board now. And here you see one of her signature moves of Carolina Costa scoring a Wazari. And after she scores that, she always follows it up with a hold down. So great to see her back in action and also beating one of the tougher opponents, Wang Hongju of People's Republic of China. She is gonna be in the semi-finals here today. So we're going to continue with the quarterfinals of the under 70 kilogram category for J1 athletes, with some interesting battles here. So two multiple medal winners on the mat now. And we're going to see the first glimpse of the number 1 seed here, Brenda Souza de Freitas of Brazil. And she didn't win a competition so often recently, but she's so constant during the last 2 years that she is the top of the world ranking. And then we have Merve Uslu Hajabipur of Turkey, who is the silver medalist of the last World Championships. So Souza always has great spirit. She really is going for it. But Uslu is not an easy opponent for her, I was gonna say, but straight away she comes in with a great hip throw, throwing over Uslu. So Souza only needed 10 seconds here to take a win. And I would be most excited to see a contest with her and, for example, Pernheim or Lagajev, and that's gonna happen because they are gonna be the next quarterfinalists. So in white judogi on the mat now, it's Turuna Lagajev of Mongolia. And she's the number 4 of the world or of the seeded here, but I think also of the world ranking. And actually she's the number 2 of the Paralympic ranking. And she will be facing Nicolina Pernheim Goodrich of Sweden. So Pernheim is unseeded here, but we all know her strength. And she will be going for a gold medal for sure. But there's gonna be some tough opponents to stop her, like Lagajev. So a really strong start from Lagajev, but straight away taken over by Pernheim. And scoring her first Rosari and now securing a hold down. And it's incredible to see Pernheim coming back so strong after having a baby. And now winning both of her contests within the first 30 seconds of the contest. So Souza and Pernheim both hardly broke a sweat, and they will face each other in the semifinals. And that's going to be a tougher battle, I suppose. So we have 2 quarterfinals left, but 2 top athletes already in the semifinals. But the really one to beat is Liu Li of People's Republic of China, because she is not beaten for a long time. So we saw Liu already twice this year, winning the Grand Prix of Heidelberg and Antalya. And she is also the current world champion. And it's quite a rough thing for Bojano, who's at the moment taking the last qualification spot for the Paralympic Games, or at least the direct spot. But in order to keep that, she would have to keep winning today. So in white judoki, Liu Li of People's Republic of China, and in blue, Nadia Agostina Bojano of Argentina. And a really quick start from Liu, straight in with the Seonage. That's what's making her so hard to beat, because she keeps going for 4 minutes in a row. And not all her attacks are are really dangerous or strong, but she's just doesn't give any chance for her opponent to get into with an attack. Here, second Seonage, and this time almost throwing over Boggiano. Boggiano now trying to work to strangle Liu, but not succeeding here. Again, Seonage. That's the thing that she's gonna do for the next couple of minutes, so she's not gonna be very surprising with her attacks. But it is really hard to get her under control. Another Seonage attempt. And now this time a more like a Makikomi attempt coming from Liu, but it's the same movement with her body. So she keeps piling up the attacks. And it's another good movement coming from Liu. I don't think she had the best kumikata to really score. And Boggiano is a good Newaza fighter, as you can see here. So she is giving some struggle for Liu, but not a real struggle yet. So a first Shido on the board now for Boggiano. Not very surprising, since it was Liu taking all the action. So another Seonage. For me it's always a little bit frustrating, because if she would just maybe prepare, it's part of a strategy, but if she would prepare a little bit more and change her grip a little bit, she would be so much more dangerous with those low techniques, because her body is in a perfect position underneath the body of her opponents, but she's not able to throw over her opponents also because of her grips. So for her opponents, I think the one thing to do is really to walk backwards and try to not get off balance at all with this Chinese. Ooh, Boggiano almost a little bit in trouble there in Newaza, but well defended on that, and she does get an attacking, so that's good. And also I think Liu doesn't look as convincing with her attacks as I've seen her before. And this time a better Seonage. Just followed up a little bit too late with the second half, so it was not a continuous movement, so no score on the board. But really good attacking for Liu. So another attack in from Liu. It's getting almost, but it's staying the same. You know, she's just gonna do those attacks, and Boggiano is trying to follow that pace. And it's incredible that she can keep going like that for 4 minutes or more. And it's another good attempt in. There was a little stop in that, but the referee thought it was continuous enough to get that Wazzari on the board. And it gives Liu a good lead in this contest with only 1 minute and 21 seconds left on the clock. So they're gonna check that Wazzari probably and see if it really was a continuous movement or if there was a clear stop in that. And in the last case, or the latter case, it would mean that Wazzari would be off the board. So they are taking the time to check it correctly. And as I mentioned, I think it was seen already a little bit, but sometimes it's a thin line between a score or no score. So the Wazzari is off the board, just the Shido difference between those two athletes. And that is a clear score now. Liu just throwing over Boggiano and holding her down for just 2 seconds, which is not enough for any score. And Boggiano now trying to work on the arm of Liu. So it is a really tough contest between these two athletes, but there is a Wazzari difference on the board now. Liu leading with 52 seconds left on the clock. Another Seonaga just didn't have the grip again. So Liu just missing out on good gripping, and she can improve on that a little bit, and she would be much more effective with her attacks. But still she has a strong lead. And if she keeps going like this, there won't be much chances for Boggiano to come up with an attack. So Boggiano is just picking up her second judo. And it's another seonage for Liu. And with the time really ticking away, it's not looking good for Boggiano here. So only 7 seconds left on the clock, and that would just mean really one good attack coming from Boggiano. But the question is if she really gets a chance to do so. So time is up. It was a close contest. It was not an easy contest for Liu, but she takes a win in the end. And we have just the one contest left in this 70 kilogram category for the quarterfinals. So 2 more athletes are waiting. And one of them already secured her spot for the Paralympic Games. In white judogi here, it's Theodora Pascalidou of Greece. And in blue judogi, Chuchiya Minako of Japan. So Pascalidou is really improving in the last few years. She was earlier she was out of the medals, but in the past year especially, she picked up some good medals, like a 3rd place in Germany this year and a silver medal in Tokyo last year at the Grand Prix. So both athletes have some trouble to get in with the technique. So Pascalidou is a really static athlete, and she's so difficult to throw, but good with takeovers. That's why it's so difficult for her opponents. So it is a tough contest between these two athletes, and I think more is at stake for Chuchia here because she's still out of the Paralympic direct spot, and she would really need to win this contest. So first penalty on the board for Pascalidou. And we're used to seeing that from her. She often gets penalties for passivity, but she can come up with some good attack. So let's just hope we're gonna see that. So left-sided attack coming from Pascalidou. So you can see Pascalidou is a strong athlete, so she's blocking her opponent, and Chuchia is struggling with that strength, and really trying to find a way to entrance, but didn't find that yet. So another drop technique now from Chuchia, and trying to work on Shimewaza with Pascalidou, trying to strangle her, but not succeeding. So still 1 minute and 35 seconds left on the clock, and I think Chuchia is the one that's trying to go for an attack a little bit more than Pascalidou. So Pascalidou needs to watch out to not pick up a second penalty. And it was a nice left-sided attack from Pascalidou. Her leg is not in the right position to really throw over Chuchia. So it's a Sutami attempt coming from Chuchia and another good attack in. And this time right-sided, let's say it's an Uchimata from Pascalidou, and this is what she does best. So she can look a little bit passive, she can take a long time to come up with a good technique, but then at many occasions she's scoring right at the end of the contest, and now it's still 1 minute and 4 seconds left, but it's a good timing for her to come up with the score. And it's a second score now for Pascalidou. It's just like she found her way to a good attack, and she just repeated that. And Chuchia went over, and it's not looking good for Chuchia now. Taking a loss here. We're gonna see some more fights in the over 90 kilogram category. And we're gonna have straight away double world champion entering the mat here in white judoka Williams de Araújo of Brazil. It's quite unbeatable in the circuit, so it's gonna be one hell of a job for Daniel Knecht of the Netherlands to see if he can change that. So Daniel Knecht is just one spot out of direct qualification, so it will be very important for him here to gain some points. But he has a very, very rough draw, I can say. So straight away strong right-handed grip. There's also, you can see that there's a weight difference between these two athletes. So right-sided attempt, first attempt coming from the Araújo. And really strong start from the Araújo. And the first 30 seconds he needed to beat his opponent here in this contest. So he really will be the one to beat here today again. There are some really top athletes also not competing in this competition, like Ilham Zakiev of Azerbaijan and Onur Tastan of Turkey and Gamba Daschiren of Mongolia. They are all not competing here today, but there is still enough quality here with Utepov, Kipchidze and let's say Basuk also in there. To see who will be the opponent of Williams de Araújo, we're gonna check the next fight. So it's going to be a battle here between Yerlan Utepov in a white judoka here, and he will be facing Ramini Kipchidze of Georgia, who's a bit smaller than his opponent, as you can see, and also less experienced, I must say. So Georgia, of course, since they're competing here in Georgia and Tbilisi, they have some chances for I classification. And they decided to do that for a few more athletes, so they are growing their team in an international level, which is great to see. But not enough strength yet for Kipchidze. Utepov made short work of that, and he's gonna be facing the Araújo in the next round. I'm quite excited for that one. I think the Araújo will be really the one to beat, but Utepov is a really strong contender in this weight category. Actually, it might be nice to take a look at mat number 2. Of course, if you want to keep following this category, you can watch it on the YouTube channel. But here we have an interesting battle between the current Paralympic champion of the under 100 kilogram category. He had to move up because the under 90 is a little bit too light for him. And then now he is facing Rercharge Contests of Georgia, who is a really, really strong contender in this weight category. And Chikwitse now working on the arm of Skelly, but not working out. And it's never a very good idea to go head-to-head with Skelly in Newaza, because he's one of the strongest athletes on the ground. So Skelly does look a little bit hurt with his last encounter with Chikwitse. So Chikwitse won the Grand Prix of Japan last year, and didn't always compete. So he is one of the strong contenders when he does. And of course, fighting for his home crowd, he will try to show that he will be the best. And that's an unfortunate ending for Skelly. I think he made a mistake, but very great move of Chikwitse. And he will be in the semi-finals now. So Skelly still has something to sort out. He's already qualified for the Paralympic Games. But he does have some really tough opponents, and he's struggling a lot more in this weight category. So as you might have heard, there will be new weight categories after the Paralympic Games of Paris. So then they will add a 95 kilogram category, which is also quite light if you're coming from the 100 kilo. But the new men weight categories will be the under 70, under 81, under 95 and over 95. And that's just to create smaller differences between weight categories. Because, for example, under 73 and under 90 is quite a big difference. And for women, it's the same. It's under 52, under 60, under 70, and over 70 kilogram. So you will see a mix-up in the categories, and you will see some new faces in the different categories as well. So on the mat now in white judogi is Shukamirza Shukurbekov of Kazakhstan, and he is facing Berenger Ligo of France, which I haven't seen around before, so it's interesting to see him competing here today. So if you want to keep watching this contest to see who will reach the semifinals, we're gonna take a look at mat number 1, because there's such an interesting category going on there, and this is right for the medals, these contests, because there's only 4 athletes. It's a round robin in this category of women under 70 kilo for J2 athletes. And here we have 2 Paralympic champions going head to head. And those are the Paralympic champions of the under 63 and under 70 kilogram category. So in white judogi here, Alana Maldonado of Brazil, the under 70 kilogram Paralympic and world champion. And she is facing Ghanim Husainova of Azerbaijan. Who is also a Paralympic champion of the under 63 kilogram category, and she is the current silver medalist of the last World Championships. So low technique coming from Husainova, Yoko Toshi, and no success yet. So it's interestingly enough, it's again left against right stance. So Wang is also a very left athlete. The big difference is that Maldonado has her left hand stretched out, so it is a different style. But Husainova is going to do exactly the same thing. She's going to try to get her opponent closer. You can see that trying to creep up at Maldonado's side, but Maldonado doesn't want to do that at all. She wants to keep her opponent at a distance, but she needs to watch out to not look too passive. So Husainova trying to get close, but she needs to get a little bit closer to be dangerous. And Maldonado knows exactly what's coming. And you could see the referee already being ready, and she's gonna give a passivity penalty to Maldonado. I think this is her biggest challenge for a while now, that she is really strong with her grip, that left-sided grip, keeping her opponents at a distance, but she does need to find some attacks. So it is a really difficult strategy, and also there's so much pressure on these athletes. They all have big championships under their belt. So it's Wang that just got beaten for the first time again in a long time. She is the current world champion, but then you have the two Paralympic champions in this weight category, Maldonado and Husainova. And then it's another drop technique from Husainova. They're not dangerous at all, but she's the one that comes in with a technique. So I think she's doing a good job today. She does always look like she's completely drained in the end of the contest, but still she comes up with great techniques. And it's a second penalty now for Maldonado. And it's absolutely right that the referee does this, because we haven't seen any action so far from Maldonado in the last 3 minutes. So she needs to take a little bit more risk, but in that she's gonna have a rough time against Husainova, who's so great with takeovers. So unfortunately our screen is frozen, so I have no idea what happened in the last encounter, but it looked like Maldonado coming up with her attack. So first penalty on the board for Husainova. And it's another drop technique for Husainova. She needs to prepare that attack once again. She had trouble with that in the last contest as well. Because you really need to get your opponent off balance when you do something like that. So a really tight battle between these two women. Oh, wow. She does it at such a perfect timing. That's incredible. Left O Uchigari. And incredibly frustrating for Husainova, who's having such a strong day, beating the world champion, but now losing out to Maldonado. And I'm really curious to see how it plays out today. But Maldonado now has the 2 wins under her belt. So that's pretty incredible. And today is basically just a good test, because I think the real deal is going to be happening in September this year in the Paralympic Games. That's going to be the most important for all these women. But obviously, you always want to win when you're competing. So another contest in this weight category, and it's gonna be between Ogawa Kazusa of Japan in white judogi and Wang Yu of People's Republic of China in blue, the world champion. And Ogawa has such a rough time because the pools in this weight category somehow are quite small all the time. I don't know why that is. There's just not that many athletes in this category, and this is why Ogawa has to deal with such top favorites all the time. So it's not that she's a bad athlete, but she's really the best of the rest. And she doesn't have an easy job. Left side at the Makikomi. And Ogawa is just not strong enough to defend on that. And it's Wang that just beat Ogawa. So we're gonna stick with this mat because there's gonna be some Rercharge Contest going on. And I'm gonna leave you to it for a few minutes for a really short break, but please enjoy the action and I will be back soon.
The referee is starting for semifinal for J2 Women's Over 17 category. White judoka representing Brazil, Rercharge. Blue judoka representing Kazakhstan, Tbilisi. The quarterfinal over 17 category. White judoka representing Ukraine, Anastasia Kani. Blue judoka representing Brazil, Mirela Freitas. The new honor queen from Canada, Prix
So welcome back. You just saw some Rercharge Contests of the under 57 kilogram category, and we're gonna have some more of those later. But now we're gonna have some matches. Actually, the final matches of the under 70 kilogram category. So we're gonna decide in the next 2 matches who will pick up a gold, silver, and bronze medal. And actually, almost anything is still possible. So the only thing that is sure is that Husainova cannot pick up a gold medal anymore because she's just lacking some points from her contests. But Maldonado and Wang, both on the mat here now, they will have to decide who picks up a gold medal here today. So it's Alana Maldonado in white judogi of Brazil and Wang Zhu of People's Republic of China in blue. And Maldonado is the current Paralympic champion, but suffered a big injury in the past, and she recently came back. Has some experience in now, but it's Wang in the period that she was gone that was really dominant in this weight category, winning all of the competitions. The unfortunate thing is that she lost out to Husainova today, so she is in a bit of trouble. Oh, and that's really beautifully done. Nice change of direction from Maldonado, and now trying to strangle Wang. Just not successful, but she has a lead now against the world champion. So it's really a left against left grip. The only thing is that Wang, her left hand is much more bended, so she's normally looking a bit more positive than Maldonado. But Maldonado has a really good score on the board here. She just needs to stay looking positive and not keep piling up the shidos, for example, to take a loss in the end. But I'm assuming both athletes here will pick up a penalty. Oh, and another really close score here, and again trying to strangle Wang right after that. So another good attempt coming from Maldonado, and she's looking stronger than in the past competitions I've seen from her. So she's looking good and getting back to shape. And first good attempt coming from Wang. And a short update about mat number 3, where the under 70 kilogram semifinals of J1 category take place. Whereas number 1 seed Brenda Souza de Freitas just beat Nicolina Bernheim with a Nippon score, or 2 Watari scores. So she is looking very strong here. And Bernheim, although she's coming back in great fashion, she needs to try to get a bronze medal instead of a gold medal here today. And again, a good attack coming from Maldonado. And Wang is really struggling much more today than in the past. Doesn't have the best day yet. And it could be that she's taking 2 losses here today. And incredibly enough, Maldonado looks like she was controlling the whole contest. And just in the last minute, Wang came up with that great score and hold down. So with that win, they both end up with 2 winning fights today, but and also 20 points, 2 weapons scored, both of them. But since Wang beat Maldonado in a direct fight, she will be the number 1 here today. And Maldonado will finish with a 2nd place. And that means automatically that Husainova and Ogawa just have to settle for a bronze and 4th place. And it's really interesting because, okay, this time it's Wang Yu that takes a win in the end. She did suffer a loss against Husainova, but she also was behind almost the whole contest. So Alana Maldonado must have gotten some confidence here today. And it's going to be a really interesting battle in September in Paris. So here you have the last battle of the under 70 kilogram category of J2 athletes for women. It's Ogawa Kazusa of Japan and Kanim Husainova of Azerbaijan. And the last one being the current Paralympic champion of the under 63 kilogram category, which doesn't exist anymore. So for these ladies, the category will stay exactly the same as it is. It will stay the under 70 kilogram category. So first Shido on the board for Husainova. And the thing is, it's also very much a mental game. And Husainova starting the day off so strong, beating the world champion. But now she is fighting basically for a bronze medal contest and bronze medal. And I'm hoping she will find the motivation to at least get a win in this contest or try to get a win. But this is how close these 3 athletes are. So Husainova struggling now. I think she's much better with the bigger athletes, and she can crawl closer and get underneath, but that's quite rough to do with Ogawa. So left-sided attempt coming from Husainova, but you see how strong the core is of Ogawa. She's good with blocking that. And Husainova seems like she's really done with it and pushing over her opponent. Nice Kosotokage from Husainova. So winning her last fight. So all of these athletes, the top three, they won 3 fights. So they basically all beat each other. But it's Wang who comes out on top. So that concludes the under 70 kilogram category. Obviously all the other categories, they are not round robin, so we are gonna see the medal fights in the final block later today at 3. But now we're gonna have the semi-finals of the under 57 kilogram category. And Larissa Silva is in here also. And that's, for me, it's surprising. She is a good athlete and she has some good 5th places, but she is, I think, really improving. And now she will try to beat the world champion to get a final spot. So in white judoka here, world champion Shi Juji of People's Republic of China. And she is facing Larissa Silva of Brazil in blue judogi. And straight away Wazari score for Silva. I couldn't see the perfect angle for that if it was a Wazari, but that's such a strong start for Silva. And now strangling the Chinese, and I think she is really in trouble here. Oh, that's such a nice turn. Incredible what's happening here. So Silva was strangling Shi, but she managed somehow to take that over and hold down Silva for a few seconds. So great work for both of these athletes. She's trying to go for a seonage, just Silva crumbling down then quite fast. But it would be such a shocker because she's not even in a qualification spot to beat the number 1 seed and world champion here in the semi-finals. Now it's Wazari back on the board for Shi's side. So just proving a little bit too strong. She had a slip up in the beginning of this contest and things were looking great for Silva. But this is not gonna change anymore. So it's the second Wasari score in the Nippon for she, and she is in the finals again. So there's another great matchup lined up for us in the semifinals of this category between Dondu Yesulyurt of Turkey and Liana Muccia of United States of America. Both are world medal winners and are both great athletes, and I'm really looking forward to this fight. Nice right-sided Seonage from Muccia, but bringing herself in such big trouble. That was so unfortunate for Muccia, and she gets out of that osaikomi. But she's straight away into trouble with that. Another right-sided Seonage. The trouble for that is if she's doing that from the lapel, and with the grip that Yesulyurt has, she is in big threat of being strangled by her opponent. So she needs to be careful with that. Both athletes are strong, and Yesulyurt just putting some pressure on Muccia. And it's another really nice Seonage coming from Muccia. I just feel that Yesulyurt is that much stronger, so she's pushing over her opponent and scoring a first Wasari score on the board. But now Muccia is in a good position to try to go for an arm lock. Just don't think she has the strength to really go for that. So for me, Muccia is a really great athlete. She has good technical skills, But it looks like, it seems like Yasuryurt is just a bit stronger than her opponent.
Tenerife Krzysztof Weselczak Showing Sword 72 category. White judoka representing Azerbaijan, Musadaf Kerimova. Blue judoka representing Uzbekistan, Mozmikot Armonova. Winner, judoka from Uzbekistan, Mozmikot Armonova. Category 2, Rercharge Contests, 72 category, category J1. White judoka representing United Arab Emirates, Anya Al-Hamani. Blue judoka representing Venezuela,
So Yasuryurt proving to be too strong for Mucia. And Mucia, I always see her against other opponents doing so well and throwing over opponents. But Yasuryurt showing some of her strength. And it's going to be fun to watch the final, which will be a replay of the last World Championships. So some more semi-finals in one of the strongest categories for men. And these two have met many times before. They both know how it is to win the World Championships, but Lachumania won the last two editions. He was quite long one of the ones to beat. He still is, but just suffered some recent defeat against Davurkon Karomatov of Uzbekistan, who's also competing today. And he will be in this next semi-final. Really nice footwork coming from Nazarenko. So Lachumania is really the number one in the world ranking. He is the double world champion. And he's winning almost all his fights, but they never seem super easy. He's not throwing over big. He's really structured with his judo and building slowly. And he is a really complete athlete, so he's able to work on tachi and nawaza. So really strong left-sided grip of Lachumania, which is troubling so many opponents with. But Nazarenko is definitely not an easy opponent. Oh, that was looking good. Lachumania going for that left-sided Usotogari. And now Yokotumanagi attempt. Not the best one, but it is another attempt in. And Nazarenko almost finds some space there for a good attack on Newaza. Now trying to strangle Lachumania, and it looks like it's on almost, but the referee apparently saw something wrong there. Probably the lapel over the chin of Lachumania, which will cause a straight mate. So again, that left against right grip. I think Lazarenko is looking strong here today. Just struggling with the grip of Lachumania. With that left hand, Lachumania is really controlling his opponents. But this attack also, it doesn't look the strongest. So both athletes trying to find an entrance for a good technique here. And although the techniques of Lachumania don't look the best, again here he tried to take Nazarenko backwards, but ended up on his back. And Nazarenko is, I think he wants to try to get a score for that, but that was clearly the attempt of Lachumania. But I always like a lot that Lachumania is trying different things. He's really seeing, I think, the sport as trying to figure out a puzzle. So you will see him really trying different attacks. And then at some point he will find a good entrance and a good technique. Again, that left side for Lachumania now almost taken over by Nazarenko, but you see that Lachumania is really taking the initiative. It's another Yoko Tomunage, another attempt that is not really dangerous to Nazarenko, but he will be picking up a second Chido at some point if he doesn't attack. Oh, that's beautifully done by Nazarenko. What a surprise there. So taking the lead with just 49 seconds. And Nazarenko is looking quite strong here today. So I'm really curious to see what the response of Lachumania will be, and if he has some way to find out another score on his side of the board. Otherwise he will lose out the fight. And you can see here that also the first few minutes already took out a lot of energy. You don't see him going into a next gear. It is gonna be really tough to get a score on the board now. And another Uchimata attempt from Lachumania here. Not a bad attempt, but well defended by Nazarenko. So just 22 seconds left, and Nazarenko almost going over again. Ooh, but this is gonna be interesting. Lachimania holding down Nazarenko. Oof, I think Nazarenko was just looking at the clock there and it's tactically so poor, but this shows the strength of Lachimani. It's incredible that he can go for that Newaza technique because it's gonna take some time to build on that, but he was very quick with his work and beating Nazarenko really in the last second of this contest. The thing it is a really good warning for Lachimania because Nazarenko is getting really close to beating him. And it's nice to win a fight here in this competition, but the competition that really counts will be in September during the Paralympic Games. They both are qualified as at this moment the number 1 and number 3 spot. So they will be separated on the contest sheet there. So the numbers 1 to 4 will be separated in the draw in the Paralympic Games, with the number 1 and 4 on one side of the sheet and the number 2 and 3 on the other side. And that means avoiding some of your really roughest opponents, like these two. So for the next semi-final, we're gonna watch the contest between Davurkon Karomatov of Uzbekistan, who won 3 Grand Prix in the last period, and he will be facing Marcelo Casanova of Brazil. It's Karomatov in white judogi and Casanova in blue. They faced each other before. That's beautifully done. This is why Karomatov is, I think, the one to beat in this category at the moment. Winning all of his contests. Actually, he lost the final against Lachimania in Tokyo, but after that, this year he's unbeatable. He had a rougher contest against Evan Malloy in the last contest. But we're going to see the final that we, I think, hoped for between Lachimania of France and Karomatov of Uzbekistan. And let's take a look at some other semi-finals that are going on mat number 2. This is the second one in the under 90 kilogram category for J1 athletes. Well, I was gonna say this is the second one, but I was afraid of that. Golami got injured in winning his last fight, so Powell doesn't need to fight this semi-final, and he will face. I'm not sure who he's gonna face, but I think the number 1 seed would be a good option, Cavalcante. So let's see for that later. So we have the joy to watch the semifinals of the over 90 kilogram category for J2 athletes. And in white, you can see the number 1 seed of this category, Ibrahim Bolek-Bassi. He has a great seonage, and he's very, very explosive with that. Just had a good contest between him and Jack Hodgson, where he came out on top. And he is facing Yerlan Konkiev of Kazakhstan here.
Judoka from Ukraine, please come to tatami 1.
So Konkiev didn't pick up a medal yet this year. He got a 5th place in both Turkey and Germany. So it would be a really good result for him to be able to pick up a medal here. And Bolek-Bassi is definitely struggling with something. So not sure what his problem is, but he needs those knees to be good for the low seonages. So Bolek-Bassi is rubbing his knee, but he needs to make a decision quite quickly. You cannot just stay on the mat and wait for your knee. Otherwise, they're gonna just end the fight, and Konkiev is gonna take the win. And for me, this is taking too long already. So Konkiev is gonna take a medal for the first time this year. Really good for him. And at this point in the circuit, it's a few months before the Paralympic Games, so you don't want to really take any big risks of big injuries. So it looked like his knee is locked up a little bit, so unfortunate for him. And Yerlan Konkiev is in the first one to be in the final. I think it's a surprising outcome of this weight category. And let's see if the Georgians can pick up their first final spot of the weekend. In white judoka here, Revas Chekuidze of Georgia. He won the Grand Prix of Tokyo last year, but he wasn't competing very often in the last occasions. And he picked up a bronze medal at the World Championships of in Birmingham, or I must say the World Games. And Shurkam Mirza Shukurbekov of Kazakhstan is doing very well in the last few occasions. Won the Grand Prix of Antalya, picked up a 3rd place in Germany, and got a 2nd place in Tokyo, which means they battled it out there. So really nice start for Chikuidze. Nice Ashiwaza. Not scoring against Shukurbekov, but really good start. And a first low Seonage attempt from Shukurbekov, but that really didn't do anything to Chikuidze, who was looking very strong and controlled. So a strong left-sided grip from Chikuidze. And Shukurbekov has really good results, so he's in great shape. Let's see if he gets can change the last outcome of their encounter. Another good low technique coming from Shukurbekov. I think he's having the right tactics against Chikuidze, trying to get underneath. Just needs to find the good kumikata for that. So Shukurbekov just a little bit more active in his contest. Chikuidze is searching longer for an attack, but when he does, it's always really dangerous, like this one. Nice Sasai movement. And this time a nice movement coming from Shukurbekov. And Chikuidze trying to work, and Newaza trying to work on the arm. And it's really nice that the referees are giving him time, because there's a continuous progress. Now it's starting to slow down. But he needs to keep progressing in order to not cause a mete or stop in the competition, in the contest, and he does. Really nice Newaza work from Chikuidze. That was really great. So he needs to hold down Shukurbekov for another 10 seconds to take a win here in the semifinals. So big cheering from the crowd, fighting for his home crowd, obviously, and really nice to see him in the final. And he does have a good chance to win the competition here today and pick up a gold for Georgia, where he will face Yerlan Konkiev of Kazakhstan. So for the finals in the over 70 kilogram for J1 athletes women, we're gonna watch a battle between the number 1 seed Nazan Akingunes of Turkey and Erika Zuaga of Brazil. And although she is unseeded, Erika Zuaga, she's a really top contender. She won the Grand Prix of Turkey and she picked up a bronze medal at the last World Championships. But other than that, she wasn't competing at all. Maybe due to injuries or to other circumstances. But when she is in a competition, she's always doing great. So right against left. Ooh, that's gonna be interesting. So for me, these moves are always quite interesting because Zuaga was clearly the one that started the movement. So the question is if there was enough control from Akingunes in this takeover, or that they will just cancel out the Ippon. So they will always check these types of situations. So I'm really curious to see what they're gonna decide. So if they are gonna finish this contest, that will mean that Akingunes, if the scoreboard stays like this, will be in the final as the number 1 seed. And I'm happy to see that actually, because for me it was really unclear who was really leading this attack. And for sure Zuaga was starting that attack, and Akingunes was trying to take over, but if she finishes on the back first, that was not really clearly an Ippon score. This time closer to a score. We're getting a score actually. So again, same situation. Zuaga trying to come in for a technique, but this time it was much more clear that Akingunes was taking over Zuaga. So top favorite on the mat here, Anastasia Harnik of Ukraine. And I think Garcia here is doing the perfect thing to move around a lot. And Harnik trying something else there, trying to take Garcia backwards. Not succeeding there, but I think Garcia is much lighter than her opponent, so she needs to stay moving around. And if you play that static strength game against Harnik, you're not gonna win. So it's nice. Harnik is actually really troubled with the movement of Garcia, but now trying to strangle her opponent. So that was really nicely done. I think she's just too strong for her opponent, but I think also Garcia showed some good skills here, and I think she is finding the right tactics, but Harnik just proving to be a little bit too strong for Garcia.
Winner of the semifinal representing Ukraine, Anastasia Harnik. Judoka from Ukraine goes to the final. Garcia from USA will compete for bronze medal.
So we're gonna watch the Rercharge contest of the under 90 kilogram category for J1.
Now we are starting the Rercharge Contest under 90 kg J1 category. White judoka representing Italy, Valeria Teodori. Blue judoka representing Kazakhstan, Paralympic Games.
So we have two more two more contests in this weight category to decide who will go up for the bronze medal. And straight Arstambekov here is in there. So in the white judoki here, it's Valerio Romano Teodori of Italy, and in blue, Boyzhan Arstambekov of Kazakhstan, who is holding down Teodori at this point. And what a quick finish for Arstambekov. And it's actually really important because the points in this weight category for the not qualified athletes are quite close together. So Arstambekov has the last qualifying spot, but he just beat Teodori, who is out of qualification, but could have changed that today.
Winner of the Rercharge, representing Kazakhstan, Boyzhan Arstambekov.
So good job by Arstambekov. So it looks like France is not competing. I'm not 100% sure. I don't see the athlete here. So we're supposed to see Cyril Jonard of France in white judogi, a former world champion, and he will be facing Turgun Abdiev of Uzbekistan in blue. Let's see if the Frenchman still comes to the contest. But it seems like he is not gonna be present. So we see an unusual high rate of athletes not coming onto the mat, and I think that has something to do with this as being the last qualification tournament. And if there are some injuries going on, you just don't want to have the risk of breaking something just a few months out of the Paralympic Games. So it could be that that's the reason that why some athletes just don't want to take the risk. But it's unfortunate to see. The good thing is that we still have plenty of good fights going on here. And we're going to start with some of those fights in the over 90 kilogram category for J2 athletes. And in white judogi here, Jack Hodgson of Great Britain, who is facing Nasser Zorgani of France in blue. So Hodgson was out with a big injury for a long time and came back for a while now, but it's really nice to see that he is starting to look better in each competition. So unfortunately for him, I think it's a little bit too late because he was out almost the whole first year with an injury. And in that time, Skelly of Great Britain could pretty much secure his spot for the Paralympics. But on the last two Grand Prix, both in Heidelberg and in Antalya, he picked up bronze medals. And he has an opportunity to do that again here. So nice left movement coming from Hodgson. Nice left-sided Makikomi, completely throwing over Zorgani. So a first Rosari on the board for Hodgson now. So Hodgson also has a yellow dot on his gi, which means he has a hearing impairment. So the referee will always make sure the right scores, penalties in the scoreboard is communicated. Another left-sided Makikomi, just losing the grip too quickly on the way down. Another left-sided Makikomi, just unfortunate to lose the grip that quickly because it is a good movement coming from him, from Hodgson, and with that losing the grip he's not able to score. So a big attempt coming for Zorgani, trying to throw over Hodgson with a sacrifice technique, but bringing himself into trouble there. Hodgson now gets some chance to try to free up his leg to take a hold down of hold of Zorgani. So I think Zorgani is starting to look better in his contest. Nice right-sided grip. Just both have to try to find an entrance for a good attack. And we all know what Jack wants to do. And I think that was a little bit a mistake of Zorgani, trying to move directions or change directions. But Jack making no use of that. And I think Hodgson is experienced, and you can see that here, because he got a second Wazari by the referee, but in the end it was not a Wazari. So it was really clever of him to secure the hold down and take a second Wazari to take a win. So Hodgson we are gonna see back in the bronze medal contest. And he's gonna have a hell of a job there against Surkamirza Shukurbekov of Kazakhstan.
Now standing for second judge, J2 men's over 90 category. White jacket representing Brazil, Sergio Junior. Blue jacket representing France, Filippo Belanger.
So for the next Rercharge contest, we're gonna watch Sergio Junior of Brazil. He's wearing the white judo gi here, and he's facing Berenger Lijo of France. That was quick work for Lijo, and the junior just threw him over with a nice ippon. And the home nation has a spot on the Paralympic Games. Not sure if it's in this category as well. But both athletes were not really high on the world ranking list, but picked up a 7th place. So I think either if one of them reached further than the other, they might decide who would be going to the Paralympic Games. So I'm really curious who we're gonna watch on the Paralympic Games later this year. I think Zorgani's just placed a little bit higher on the world ranking, or in the Paralympic ranking, so they might decide to send him, but I'm really not sure. It will be a really good experience for either of these athletes. So we have the last two contests of the day. And it's two Rercharge contests of the over 70 kilogram category for J1 athletes. And for that, I have some friend with me. Hello.
Hello,
Hello, Sandra
Esther
Sogedi.
and everyone else. Good afternoon. Or what is it now? I don't know what time it is at this.
It's an afternoon,
It's
definitely.
afternoon, so that's
But in
good.
some parts of the world, probably it's not
I
the
know,
afternoon.
right? Here is the afternoon. So yes, good afternoon once again. And yeah, as you said, we're coming to the end of the preliminary round. 2 Rercharge contests left.
Yeah. And for the people that don't know you, can you tell something about yourself?
Oh dear.
Besides being a commentator in the circuit.
Yes. Well, I've done judo myself with you. At the same time, and I've been a competitor, and as you said, now I'm working as you got me off guard there.
Well, you participated in the Rio Paralympic Games.
The Olympic one.
Olympic. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
In the Olympic
we are
Games.
Into the Paralympics.
Yeah.
So
I'm mentioning Paralympic Games too much.
Yeah,
And
no.
after that, you are doing a lot of work in judo, for
Right.
Jamaica. You set up
that's
the judo there.
actually a project that I'm very. It's very dear to my heart. We built judo in Jamaica from pretty much scratch. And speaking of Paralympics, we did have an athlete at the Tokyo Paralympics competing. It's just since the change of the classifications, he was a B3.
Okay.
So he didn't make the cut for this cycle, and he's got a bronze at the Pan and Parapan Games as well. So he's done pretty
great.
well.
Yeah.
As I said, just didn't make the cut for this run. But how's your day been, anyways?
Good.
Throwing back the ball.
Yeah. I think the day is really good. We just see Sanabria here beating her opponent, so she get a shot at the bronze later today. But we've seen a lot of good judo today. I think you must agree. And yesterday as well in the final block, many positive scores.
Yes, I know a lot of Navaza.
Also, yeah. But that's the interesting question, because you've done some of the IBSA competitions now. So you've seen something. Do you see some differences, or what is your experience?
What is my second? Well,
Yeah.
second or no, in this new cycle is the second one, I should say.
Yeah.
Well, I do see that it's that is developed a lot. I think, let's say, back in 10 years ago, the techniques and the whole technicality of the judo, if you're looking at just the judo itself, it was pretty basic.
Yeah.
There was not much thinking behind it. It was grip and go.
Mm-hmm.
But I think tactically and technically, nations now investing into para judo as just as much at some cases as the elite team, if you like.
Yeah.
And that shows, because now you see people implementing tactics in their fight, and there are combinations that my first ever IBSA event was 2009.
That's a long time ago.
It was a little World Cup in Lithuania.
Mm-hmm.
And the setup and everything, but I don't want to talk about the decoration in the venue, because that is
A lot has
and it's
improved.
impressive.
Yeah.
But when it comes to action on the mat, absolutely combinations, counter-attack. Before it was really just grip and go and see what sticks. But you see the progression, you see the improvement, and also the amount of countries involved. Back then, you had a handful of countries that were good at judo in general. Anyways, they had the funds from the government or from wherever else to do it.
It was so
judo,
limited. There
exactly.
were a few countries that were funded by the government, and we're talking also about countries like Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan.
Yeah.
They and it's.
The Brits are there since the get-go.
Yeah. They are really investing in the sport, but you also see that a lot of countries were lacking. And I think here we have 46 countries, nations present.
It was 48 to start with, but then we had a few falls at the classification. So it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah, and also that's what I noticed. I just mentioned it today, that there's a lot of people that don't show up on the mat. I've never seen it before, but it has to do with being the last tournament. Some people know they're qualified or not qualified. Some people just don't want to take the risk of a big injury. We saw some people get a little bit injured, and I think they just decided to be safe.
And then you got the seeding.
Yeah, exactly.
You got the seeding. I think some of them might have just made a decision based on, well, I am within the seeding and whoever else is not here or not competing, so
Yeah, exactly.
why should I even risk to be injured or whatever, just lose my energy? Yeah, there's a lot to think about. And but speaking of seeding, yesterday I did note something as I was preparing my little review and whatnot at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's top 4 seed
Yeah,
as opposed to like the top 8,
it's different.
it's really it really makes such an impact, because you got number 5 on the ranking having to fight into the quarterfinal or the round 16s and having to go a really tough route. And yeah, so it
So
does
if you're the
have a
number
special
5
touch.
of the seed, you can
You're not seeded.
No, you can
Yeah.
still draw the number 1 seed.
Exactly,
And it's really crazy.
Yep.
But still, I think in this field, it's so important to be the top 4 seed at the top 4
It is.
seeds.
It
So
is very important, because despite they are seeded the top 8 and sometimes even the 10 in some weight categories, on the para world ranking, it's really strong.
Yeah, it is.
And so, like you said, you can be just number 5, but
Yeah.
your days.
And also, there's sometimes quite a small difference between being classified or not classified. And you see here the stakes are really high, because even if you're not classified directly here, there's quite a lot of spots left that they will allocate based on maybe world ranking, nation.
Yeah.
There's a few things to
Boxes
consider.
tick,
Yeah. So in any case, you have to do the maximum result here possible. And you can still tell that in the quality. I really like it.
absolutely, yeah. Quality is really good and strong, absolutely.
Yeah, here we have the last contest of the morning block. Maybe you can tell us when is the final block, because I'm not
3 o'clock.
absolutely sure. I was just telling
Yeah.
them 3 o'clock, but
yeah, it's 3 o'clock local time. Yes.
it's good to make sure that that is true.
Yes, it is indeed. 3 o'clock local time. The same setup as yesterday. Mat 1 and 2 bronze medals. The Mat 2 is the final.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure they've got the choice to click on the live stream, or they got like separate links for it.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah. So the audience got separate links to choose which mat they want to follow.
yeah. I think there's a big difference also in the competitions. That like everything is getting so professional. So it's really I'm really happy that we're able to show all the contests. So if you want to watch one of the mats, it's always possible. There's a lot. You are responsible for the articles. There's so many nice articles with backgrounds about the athletes. So
And there's so
I'm happy
many
with the
interesting
attention.
stories.
There are, yeah.
I mean, these normally with the A team as well, you get some stories, but it's more so to do with mommy was a judoka or daddy was a judoka. But here you got serious, deep and emotional stories.
Yeah, and it's I think the thing that what we cannot realize, because we have our sight, how difficult it is if you close your eyes and you start to do judo. It's a completely different sport, but besides that, to learn, you are watching. Well, like everybody with sight is learning by watching, and they don't have the possibility to do that. A big part of them don't have the possibility, so they have to learn in a completely different way, and it's really amazing. With how much energy and how much how do you say that?
The spirit.
Yeah, and they are not afraid at all to do
Absolutely
really
not.
all these crazy moves, and it's really amazing to see.
It's not the best. It's unreasonable for us to imagine,
Yeah,
and for them it's the normal.
it is.
So it's a tough one, really.
Yeah, but it's always really great to see the spirit here. And here,
Yeah.
to go back to the contest, it's still 1 minute 34 seconds, no scores.
Yeah. What do we know about these athletes?
What do we know about these athletes? Good question. Well, actually,
Returning the favor.
yeah. Well, the Freitas, actually, there were 2 other Brazilians in the mix. Here, oh no, it's not this weight category. That was.
They have like Paralympic champion in one of the categories, right?
They
Under
have
70,
the under 70 kilo, yeah. But she got a second place today. So it's really close together. But Milena de Freitas is the second Brazilian, because Erika Zuaga, she reached the final. And I don't know why she didn't compete that much, but when she's competing, she's always picking up medals. But I think she was only in the last qualification year only competing in 2 occasions. So that's quite interesting to see.
So, yeah.
She's going to be, I think, the one to go to the Paralympic Games. But Milena de Freitas might be the runner-up. And also, you never know what's going to happen in the next period. And we're going to have the new weight category. So that's also going to be a big mix-up in this sport.
Yeah, we're going to have some test events on those and see how the numbers are and the interest and the whole, uptake. But to touch base on what you said about having to select another athlete, that also shows the development that now nations are actually having to think, hold on, who am I going to send? Because I've got so many great athletes. So that's also...
Yeah, yesterday it was really impressive with the Uzbek team. They have like 2 weight categories where they have really top athletes, and the number 1 and 2 of the world. Or in the 73, you have 2 Paralympic champions in there from 2 different weight categories now fighting in the same category. So I don't know. I didn't find out yet who we're going to see in Paralympics, and maybe they don't know yet. Maybe they're going to discuss that. So in the 60, I know Nurilayev they are gonna send because he didn't lose any match in the whole period. He's amazing.
He's incredible.
Yeah.
But even that, I think the under 60 for me is just like fireworks all over,
Yeah. Yeah, and there's a lot of categories that are really great, and I really like to see also in the women categories that there's good competition numbers. The only category that's so interesting, under 70 for women, which is quite a regular category with normally there's good athletes, a good number of athletes, and here it's quite limited. The quality is super high, but
to do with the qualification as well,
So we have to stop talking because it's the end of the morning block. We just saw Erga Sheva winning her last fight. She actually didn't pick up a medal yet this year, so there are high hopes for her for this year and not to pick up another 5th place.
And an unusual to have for Uzbekistan a female judoka.
Yeah, they have some really good athletes. So
excellent, right? So 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you later.
Goodbye for now.